Welcome, everyone. Good morning. We'll just give it a minute for everybody to join, and we will start the presentation. So a lot of familiar names. Welcome. Got a lot of people registered for this webinar, so I'll just give it another 30 seconds for everybody to join, and we can get started. I see people are still joining. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome. Another 15 seconds, we'll get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Alex Fetanat. I'm the CEO and founder of GemFind. We will be presenting today along with Anthony Arechiga, VP of Sales and Marketing. Today's webinar is about increasing your revenue in 2021 with the Holistic Digital Marketing Plan. Want to welcome each and every one of you. I know your time is very valuable. We appreciate you attending this session. So we'll go ahead and get started. We want this to be interactive webinar. So if you guys have any questions, you can always drop it in the chat. We'll be able to answer right there and then. If not, we can definitely address them at the end of this session. In today's market, obviously, we understand that digital marketing approaches are really important. GemFind, so just in case you guys are not familiar with the company, we've been around for about 20 years now. I started the company back in 99. We launched in 2000. Over the years, we've added a lot of different services to our programs and offering. We work with a lot of jewelry manufacturers, diamond suppliers, and vast number of our clients are retail stores. Our position in the industry really is set so as we are a one-stop shop from consultation, design, development of the website, as well as full digital marketing services. We basically a one-stop shop. So we are here to help. My passion is really to help the industry grow. We want more retailers to prosper. We want more retailers to be successful, obviously, and that is really our mission in this industry. So we're going to get started. I'm going to just kind of briefly talk about an overall session as to what we want to be talking about, and then Anthony is going to basically provide you with the detailed presentation about the online marketing, digital presence, as well as our approaches basically with our clients, how we plan on growing their revenue. So 2020 obviously was a challenging year for many people. The jewelry industry overall did well. We had a lot of clients actually that had increased revenue, as much as 30%. And there were also a lot of jewelers, unfortunately, that did not meet the numbers. Last year, we had over 23 webinars, and we really tried to share our experience. We tried to share our knowledge. We wanted to help the jewelers to really succeed. A lot of the jewelers listened, they followed, they were nimble, they adapted, and they definitely did prosper. And again, some of them for different reasons, they didn't have the budget. Maybe they were shut down. Maybe they were just too busy running their business day to day. And unfortunately, they were not able to leverage and capitalize. So as you know, the customer behavior has really shifted and changed. This pandemic obviously had a big impact to that. I'm sure you read a lot of articles in industry news and anywhere else that talk about digital marketing, digital presence. As you know, online sales has grown even within the jewelry industry. It's gone up about 40%. Amazon had a huge online growth, 37%. So that's why their stock is where they are. So it's a trend that is not going to revert back, and I believe that it's just going to continue to grow. So what you did, a few years ago, or what we were even doing a few years ago, we can't do and repeat and expect better results today. You must stay nimble. We must stay nimble and change our strategy with time. So we have to review what your competition is doing. There's a market share, and your competition, if they're aggressive, we want to be able to really beat them in that market. So strategy is really important. Technology changes very rapidly, as you know, and we want to leverage of new technologies that are available for your business. If you want to grow your business, if you want to have a better online presence, today is a lot more important than ever before. It's not about advertising on radio anymore. It's not having an ad on TV. It's not having ad on a billboard. It's about your digital marketing and digital presence, because the beauty of it, everything is trackable. You also have to have a holistic approach, but it's not about just having a website, and it's not just having a deep pocket for marketing, but they all have to kind of work together. But what we want to talk about today, obviously, initially you want to start with your website. And again, we're going to go through every single one of the most important elements on a website to make sure that your site is set up properly before you even spend a dime in marketing. We talk to a lot of clients that come to us and they say, you know what, we're spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, but we're not getting the conversion, or we don't have any idea what the conversion looks like. And we dive down a little bit deeper, and we see that they don't have the proper website, they don't have proper landing pages, their site runs slow, there are a lot of flaws, there are no landing pages, there are no call to actions. So it's really looking at everything with a magnifying glass, and to really see what customer does when they come to your site. We can install heat maps. We can kind of record the movement of the mouse on the website to kind of see why your bounce rate is 70%, 80%, and we want to reduce that. So you can also have the best looking website, but if there is no marketing behind it, if there is no strategy behind it, then obviously it's not going to convert. It's not going to do well for you. So there are various websites. Obviously, there are different type of website. There are type of digital marketing strategies. So again, Anthony is going to go through them with you in a minute. At the end of this presentation, we also have a special offer that we've never really had before, and we want to present that to you, and we hope that you can take advantage of that. So I'll hand this over to Anthony, and Anthony can get started. And again, if you have any questions, please just go ahead and type it in, and we'll be able to really respond to it quickly. Go ahead, Anthony.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you everyone for joining this afternoon. Today we're going to cover as Alex mentioned, increasing your revenue with the holistic digital marketing plan. And we're going to go through kind of actually a lot. It's going to be pretty detailed, but we will have a recording of this. I could share the slides if you'd like to. You can email me, Anthony at GemFind.com, if you want a copy of the slides. But everything is going to be very important that we talk about. This is basically a roadmap to having success online. So we're covering pretty much everything. So we want to talk about the core, which is your website, your user experience, user interface, the marketing funnel, email automation, and then we'll summarize what this all means and how this applies to you. So we'll start with the core. And again, an effective website. We have to ask ourselves, would you buy from your own website if the tables were turned? As we know, this time has been unprecedented. People are shopping online. And if they're not shopping from you when they're looking for jewelry, they're shopping from somebody else that has the website that has everything that they need in order to convert. So what does your website tell you when you land on the site? And we're going to talk very specific about that here in a minute. Does it guide you to the right place in order to start shopping? I've seen a lot of websites out there that you land on it and it's just a bunch of banners. There's no calls to action. Like what am I supposed to do? Where's the focus? Is it easy for consumers to ask questions and ultimately go through the checkout process? So asking questions, most, especially online transactions, don't happen with just, them not contacting you. And so I've seen websites out there that have like, you can't even find the contact information. So you need to make sure that it's really easy for people to ask questions. And then ask yourself, how can I reduce as much friction as possible in order to allow for business to happen on my site? So let's just make it seamless. Like don't have any reason for somebody to say no. So we'll take a look at all those things. Also, we want to make sure that when we have a website, we're choosing the right platform. These platforms are basically what are the main platforms in the market. WooCommerce, 26%, so the biggest e-commerce platform out there. Shopify is 20% of the market. Shopify probably took more, this is from 2019, the newest data hasn't came out yet. Shopify probably has taken over probably half of the market share, so they're probably a lot more today. Magento, 9%, BigCommerce, OpenCart. So, what I would take a look at is the bigger platforms out there, because they're going to have more leverage in the industry. So comparing a couple of these, open source platforms or community-based platforms, they're going to allow you for a lot more opportunity to grow, because small businesses, if we're going with a proprietary platform, can't keep up with the bigger platforms. They can't adapt to all the latest things, because technology advances faster than proprietary platforms can adapt. And like Shopify, for example, has over 1 million merchants using their platform, which means more leverage and buying power. So, Facebook came to Shopify because they have that buying power. Facebook came to Shopify to allow for direct selling on Instagram. And so when you have that type of, when you're involved in that type of community, you're going to have a lot more resources available to you. So that's why a proprietary platform is going to be a lot more difficult for you to be able to have significant growth online, because doing shoppable posts on Instagram is a super important part of your overall holistic digital marketing strategy. Doing shopping campaigns on Google through Google Merchant Center, extremely important for your overall holistic digital marketing plan. Doing dynamic retargeting on Facebook and Instagram. We're going to talk about all these things and what these things mean, but it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to be able to do those on a proprietary platform. Shopify has, in WooCommerce, they have solutions for this that are like basically built in. Shopify has, Google Merchant Center feed built in, a Facebook feed built in, because again, they were the first ones to ever allow for that Facebook feed. So, I think just wanted to point out, let's take a look at setting your website up right from the start. Also, a big part of the core of your website is your merchandising. But I see a lot of jewelers get hung up on getting good products on their website, or they just want to have tens of thousands of products from vendors. Really, that's not going to get you success online. So start simple with quality over quantity. Add a nice description and simple attributes. Don't overthink it. Focus on bestsellers, quality images. I've seen a lot of jewelers that even they want to do digital marketing, but their images are so pixelated and they're stretched out. No one's going to purchase that online. And what people are purchasing is like stuff with great images, videos, 3D, AR. That's where we need to get to. But start with at least the basics. The Gem Lightbox paired with a good phone like the iPhone 11 or Google Pixel take better pictures than most cameras. So it makes it simple to get up and running. So, focus on just good quality imagery. The Gem Lightbox has a turntable where you can make your own videos as well. So, doing 3D or AR will increase conversion rates. And this is directly from Shopify by up to 250% on product pages. So super important, but at the very least, we need to start with the basics. So get good pictures up there. Otherwise, you're not even going to have a shot at getting the business if your picture quality is not that great. And again, don't just try to get thousands and thousands of products on there if you really want to have, e-commerce sales. Next, we want to focus on the UX, the user experience. So optimal user experience are basically individual dedicated pages per service. And this is really important that I don't see really any jewelers utilizing. But Google is they care about user experience or page experience. And Google's algorithm is actually having a big update in May that is going to affect your search engine visibility based on page experience. And so what Google wants, if somebody's looking for engagement rings, but they're landing on a page that talks about, services, wedding rings, fashion jewelry, then it's not going to be as relevant to the user. So really you should have a dedicated page, and your homepage should have one dedicated service even. You could put other things on there, but especially above the fold, and your SEO content should all be focused on one product or service, because Google actually will prioritize your homepage to give you the proper ranking. But what we see normally is in your SEO, which I'll talk about, search engine optimization on your website, and I'll talk about how to do that exactly properly. But we see, in their SEO, like their page title, it'll say engagement rings, wedding rings, fashion jewelry, like I said, services, buying gold, all these different things. And Google doesn't know what to prioritize you for. And so we're losing, just by following some basic principles, you're losing a significant amount of probably website traffic, search engine visibility, page experience. So when you use a dedicated page per service, it allows you to focus on that one service per page in order to please your website visitors for exactly what they're looking for. So, and then, again, landing pages or dedicated pages provide the opportunity to optimize your site for SEO. Again, not for multiple products or services, just one. And also, when you do dedicated pages or landing pages, it'll make your Google ads perform significantly better and allow you to spend less and get more traffic. And I'll actually show you specific results on that. Excuse me. And then also dedicated pages allows for buyer's journey mapping. We do need to understand that 90% of shoppers are not in the purchase phase, they're in the research or consideration phase of the buyer's journey. So should be providing some guidance as far as what is the next step I should take. So usually when you look at the buyer's journey, you want to look at it in the, in 3 stages: awareness, consideration, decision. And you need to make sure that your website is catering to each one of these audiences. So in the awareness stage, they're probably looking for more of, education, information about your business, and then how to buy an engagement ring. I always use engagement rings as the example because it's easier to talk about. But how to buy an engagement ring, the 4 C's, things like that you can actually put on the page that are relevant to a page about engagement rings. The consideration stage, the buyer defines they have a problem and researches options to solve it. So they're looking for where to buy an engagement ring from. And then the decision stage, they're choosing which item to purchase. And so you want to make sure that you're thinking about all these different stages of the buyer's journey in order to set up your pages properly. But I also wanted to show you specifically how these landing pages will actually affect. So Google is basically seeing your page experience, how good your page experience is based on bounce rate. A bounce rate means if somebody goes to your website and they leave right away, that's called a bounce. And so the more people that leave right away is the higher your bounce rate. But what we did for this jeweler, and I'll give this example here in a minute too, is we separated it out every page by keyword, and we focused on the home page for engagement rings. And as you can see, this is a screenshot from Google Analytics. Again, I'm going to get into some technical things here, but on paid search, their bounce rate, so paid search meaning Google ads, their bounce rate is 5.67%. An average bounce rate, like I've seen them before, we've helped jewelers, it's 70 to 80%. Google considers a good bounce rate 40 to 50%. This is 5.6% bounce rate on paid search, and then on organic search, 3.1%. So that's because if somebody's typing in the word engagement rings on the search, then they're going to the home page and it's all about engagement rings. It's relevant to what they're looking for, so the bounce rate is way better. So that's how Google measures your page experience. Also, it will improve your Google Ads performance. So this is something called search impression share. Before we were helping this jeweler, they were kind of in the middle of the pack in their area in Denver. As you can see, they were taking about 10% of the impression share. Now, they're second to the top. The only thing they're restricted by is budget, but they're spending less and getting more. They're at the top of the page 71% of the time. And they're basically the second most prominent jeweler on Google Ads in their market, as you can see here. So the one that's above them is just because they're a big box store that has huge budget, but they're above Brilliant Earth, Blue Nile, James Allen, and all their local competitors in their market. So that's what happens again when you set up these dedicated pages, because Google is going to give you a quality score based on your landing page experience. We also want to talk about making your website load quickly. It's a very important part of optimal user experience. Load times affect how your website ranks on search engines. It's also part of this, again, they're including it in this page experience algorithm update in May. So it's going to affect you even more coming up soon. So make sure your website loads very quickly. Consumers don't wait for a site to load. And, as you know, if somebody leaves your website because it takes too long to load, they're not going to come back. So we've got to make sure that we're focusing on that. Same with the mobile experience. If your website is difficult to use on mobile, you're just losing customers, because if they have a bad experience with your website once, they're like 90% of them are not going to come back. So users who have a negative experience in your mobile store are 62% less likely to purchase from you in the future as well. So we're going to talk about a couple other things related to user experience. So especially if you want to sell online, you should have online financing. I mean, you should have it, every jeweler should have e-commerce nowadays, not just because you want to sell online, but you want to have the conveniences that consumers are looking for today. And consumers are shopping online, especially during the pandemic and everything like that. Online shopping has increased tenfold. And so we want to make sure that you're set up in a way where you can compete with these big sellers that are gaining a lot of the business. And so we should be adding online financing and installment options. Things like Affirm integrates with most websites. And it instead of doing so, like, a lot of jewelers say, oh, I have Synchrony, I have Wells Fargo, but that's all offline. That's in-store financing. Affirm is online financing where you can actually get approved for Affirm and then use that as your payment method on the checkout. So, that's a great one to use. Afterpay is one that allows Afterpay, Klarna, PayPal, Pay in 4. Those are all installment solutions that consumers can split up their payment in 4 payments. So when you add these things, one, you're able to get a lot of people that couldn't afford it before, and your average order value will go up a lot. Also, make sure that you're showing reviews on your website and have multiple forms of communication and calls to action. You want to make sure that any of this website traffic you're getting, they're reaching out to you. Don't make them try to find how to get in touch with you. Live chat, call us, text us, book an appointment, book a virtual appointment. So, you can use a service called Calendly connected with Zoom. Inquire about this item, etc. So also add interactive tools on your website to engage people on your website longer. Utilize, and we have some tools like Diamond Link and Ring Builder that will help with your engagement on your website and improve your conversion rates. Utilize a distraction-free checkout process. Optimizing the checkout process through user testing and other means can increase your conversion rate by 35%. So we need to make sure that we're looking at all these things. We're trying to, the name of the game is, again, reduce friction and make that conversion rate as high as possible. Conversion rate just means, how many people are actually going through that process of checking out or filling out an inquiry form. Also, add on something called heat mapping. So when you're doing a website and you're doing digital marketing, it's all like you want to gather data, look at that data, see where people are going to, and you can basically change the experience of your website based on how people are clicking. And so there's some heat mapping things out there like Hotjar and Crazy Egg that you can usually add on any website, and you can see actually what people are clicking on, where their mouse is going. And then if they're clicking on something that you never thought they were clicking on before, you can bring that up to the forefront a little bit more and focus on that. So your website should always be evolving based on buyer behavior. So now we're going to talk about the marketing funnel. And this is basically how you're going to be able to create a successful digital marketing strategy and start creating more revenue for your store, especially online revenue. And this will also help with getting more leads into your store as well. So it starts with a solid foundation with a website and with organic SEO, Google search campaigns, Google shopping campaigns, dynamic ads, Facebook and Instagram ads, dynamic ads, Facebook and Instagram lookalike audiences, and then email automation and email sign-up promo. So we're going to talk about each one of these. So the first step is having the proper SEO structure on your website. A marketing funnel cannot be successful without a website that doesn't have the best user experience or proper SEO structure. So really, and I'll show an example of this here in just a minute. The proper SEO structure is as follows. It's put your keyword or the main thing that you want to be shown on search engines in your title tag. And I'll show you what that means here in a minute. Then repeat that same keyword in the first sentence of your meta description. This is something that you're putting on your website in the back end to get Google to read that in order to know what to rank you on. It's also what shows on the search engine results. And then repeat that keyword or phrase in your H1 or heading size 1 That's basically a text size. Same with your H2. And then pepper that keyword throughout the content on the page. I'll show you an exact example here. So this is a tool called Moz that allows me to see on-page SEO. And for example, this website, the page title is Engagement Rings in Denver. Again, a lot of times I'll see this and it's engagement rings, wedding rings, fashion jewelry in Denver, so there's no focus. There's a lot of different keywords, and stuffing keywords is not the best practice. And Google's again going to give you, you're going to have a high bounce rate and your ranking is going to go down. And again, in the meta description, which is the description that shows on your search engine results, we carry the largest selection of engagement rings in Denver. So again, in that same exact search term, engagement rings in Denver, is repeated in the meta description. It's also in the first H1 or heading size 1, engagement rings in Denver, and then also in the first H2 or heading size 2, top rated engagement rings in Denver. And so the H1 is actually what shows in this image. It's this hero image on the homepage. And then we're also repeating it in the content as well. We have the larger collection of engagement rings in Denver. And so if you want to see the actual results, so they were nowhere to be found on Google before we started helping them a few months ago. Now they're basically the second jeweler that shows up in Denver, one of the most competitive markets in the country, because we set this up in the proper way that Google is looking for. So as you can see here, they're showing right here. Again, another landing page experiencing, this one's engagement rings in New York. So keyword engagement, #1 on engagement rings in New York, probably the most competitive market almost in the world. And they're the #1 result that shows up here. So the proof is in the pudding. Also in the marketing funnel, one of the first steps is creating shopping feeds, connecting your store's products to Google Merchant Center. A lot of jewelers that I talk to don't even know what Google Merchant Center is. That's okay. But basically, you can feed in your products from your website into this thing called Google Merchant Center. And it holds all of your products, and it allows for you to do shopping campaigns as well as Facebook shops, same thing. It allows you to promote products and have like a shop section on your Facebook page. Google's the products on Google Merchant Center will show up on Google Shopping. So there's a tab on Google if you're doing a search, and you can see all different products as well. But it's extremely important for your e-commerce success, and it will come into play for the holistic e-commerce marketing funnel. So this is the successful marketing funnel. First, you start with quality traffic from search engines with Google Ads, Google Shopping campaigns that I just spoke about, and organic search engine traffic. And the reason why is if somebody's typing in a keyword like engagement rings in Denver, they're showing that they have interest in that product or service. So they're showing, it's called intent. And intent is the big factor that makes search engine marketing more effective or have a higher conversion rate than other forms of marketing. So if you're promoting stuff on Facebook and Instagram and you're trying to get sales, you're going to have a very low conversion rate because those are what we would call cold traffic campaigns. Those are people that are not looking. You're just fishing for somebody that may be ready for something. But especially higher ticket items, they're not going to purchase from a cold traffic ad. But search engines, again, they're seeking that out. So we need to make sure you're showing up. And then once they visit your website, there will be a tracking pixel on your website. So you need to install the tracking pixel from Google and Facebook. And once you have your products in the Google Merchant Center and in Facebook Shop, now you can utilize dynamic retargeting to show products that users were viewing on your website. So ads will show on over 1 million partner websites of Google Display Network, as you can see in these screenshots. This is on Yahoo, so Yahoo, Bing, and a million other websites. Also, in your Facebook feed, in your Instagram feed, those products will show up again. And so that's how that's how to have success online. It's not just about driving traffic, but it's about retargeting them and retargeting with specific products that they were looking at. So you keep those people that came to your website initially inside of your funnel, because they're going to keep seeing that show up until they basically make a purchase. And so most people don't purchase the first time they visit your website. It's the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time they visit your website. So that's why these dynamic ads are very important. Once the audience is generated from your website, since you're going to have that tracking pixel, it's going to create a custom audience in your Facebook, a business manager. You can create a lookalike audience from there. And that's basically an algorithm from Facebook that matches the buying patterns as the users that are in that list, those website visitors. And so you're adding more quality people to the funnel through lookalike audiences. And that's basically how it snowballs over time. You're driving traffic with quality traffic with search engines. You're adding lookalike audiences to that mix, and you keep adding quality people to that list. And then upload your email list into Facebook as a custom audience in order to deliver ads to, and then create a lookalike audience from that list. And then finally, use Klaviyo, and we're going to talk about email automation in a minute, or some kind of email basically automation tool to set up nurturing campaigns to any clients that are already in your email list. And also encourage website visitors to sign up for your email list, lather, rinse, repeat. This is how you build a successful digital marketing strategy. This is as holistic as it can get. And again, we're going to talk a little bit more about email as well. So this is what the ads would look like. You're going to see those same products showing up in that you were viewing within Facebook and within Google. And then, ultimately, you'll start seeing, these are basically retargeting. This is in Facebook showing some ads. You'll start seeing purchases start happening. This would happen after about 30 days of running ads. Purchases started happening, 5 purchases through Facebook retargeting ads. And so, this jeweler actually had a 900% return on their ad spend on Facebook, but it wasn't because, again, we weren't just doing just basic Facebook ads trying to get people to purchase. It was, again, dynamic ads, and that's how they become successful. So again, cold traffic, dynamic ads are cold traffic. They're very low conversion rates, but they're good for brand awareness. So it is important to have more brand awareness, obviously. We also want to make sure that you have shoppable posts on Instagram. So make sure you set up your Instagram as a business profile. If it's not, you create that feed from your website and connect your Instagram to your Facebook account, and then request to be an Instagram shop. Posting on Instagram, all that stuff, that is a part of the holistic strategy. It's, that takes a little bit longer to build up. That's not what's going to get you the conversions like that plan that I showed you, but it's an important piece of the puzzle. It's your PR channel. So you should be posting, you should be active on social media if you want everything else to be successful. Because what do people do when they visit your website? They usually go and follow you on Facebook or Instagram. But if you're not active, you're going to be just less attractive to them. So, and just real quick, just a couple of Instagram practices to start selling is, again, sales don't happen out of the blue. It requires constant work and engaging with the audiences. Choose quality over quantity on your posts. Post handmade videos and original photography rather than just like a video of like some vendor sent you that is on a white background. That's not going to get you much engagement. Use your stories at least once a day and make them authentic content. Make videos where you speak directly to the audience because they really want to connect with an individual. Utilize product tags in your posts and stories. So once you have that shoppable post on Instagram, and then keep in mind, Instagram is best used for nurturing smaller quick sales and your PR channel. And then for Facebook, some of the best practices, post no more than once a day, but at least 3 times a week. Post a mix of mediums, original videos, quality homegrown imagery, blogs, and helpful content. You can use it for event marketing. You should be boosting posts as well. And Facebook Live, some jewelers have success with, doing some events. So finally, email automation. So part of email automation is abandoned cart emails. If you do want to sell online, you can't really have you will, I mean, if you have good products and you're doing all the right things, you can have success, but without abandoned carts, your success is going to be a lot less. So, your abandoned cart emails will meaning like if somebody adds something to their cart and they leave. So usually in that process, they have to put in their email address to go to the next step to make their purchase. That would get saved. And then if you had an abandoned cart email system set up, it'll send them an email telling them to remind them to make a purchase. It's built right into Shopify. So if you use Shopify, that's in there, or use an email automation platform like Klaviyo, which could work with multiple different website platforms, including, very integrated with Shopify, can integrate with WooCommerce and Magento and BigCommerce and others as well. But again, get people to sign up for your email list and then do those abandoned cart emails. So about email automation, Klaviyo is the preferred email system for Shopify merchants. You can utilize Klaviyo to nurture shoppers already in your email list. So you can send relevant emails based on how subscribers interact with your website. So if somebody goes to a product page, for example, or they put something in their cart in the last month, you can have an automation that sends them an email related to that product. So it's very specific, catered emails to their experience on their website. So if they viewed a product in the last 90 days or something else, you can send them an email. So you create a bunch of templates and it just happens in an automated way. But you got to have obviously people in your email list in order for that to happen. So, load your email list into a service like Klaviyo, or there's other platforms out there. Klaviyo is just one that I like a lot, but you can basically send them emails based on those products that they're viewing, and then that will improve your conversion rates as well. It's almost like retargeting, but with an email. So to summarize, a holistic approach, I know we talked about a lot, but a holistic approach to digital marketing is the most effective. If you're not having success with your digital marketing, it's most likely because there are holes in your funnel. So you spend money getting customers to notice you, but you don't do anything to get them to come back. So success is really, it's a long game and requires constant nurturing and customer development over the course of the customer journey. So it really has to be holistic, but you can have success. But it's more important than ever, obviously, to really follow all these guidelines, if you want to have continued sustainable success. Alex?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Anthony, for that presentation. I do hope that everyone that attended this webinar and this session enjoyed it. Now we're opening it up to Q&A, and you see that there's one question. Dominic is asking what AR stands for. So AR is augmented reality, Dominic. Primarily it's and I'm sure you guys have seen that when somebody kind of clicks on a ring and you'll be able to try it on a finger, for example. That's what that augmented reality is, which we see that definitely it's increasing the conversions on e-commerce platforms. And that's something that GemFind has been working on, and we're hoping to really launch that in the next 30 days or so. But good question. We will have this recording online by Monday on our website. So if you guys want to review this, you're more than welcome to go to gemfind.com under resources. You should be able to see the recording of this webinar. Just a little update on what I was talking about initially in the beginning of this session. We do have a special right now that we're running. If you guys are interested, it's a full digital marketing competitive analysis and growth strategy. It's a holistic approach to your online presence, 360 degrees. We will review your website. We will basically review all your current marketing initiatives. We will review your analytics. We also will do a complete competitive analysis in your market to see what your competition is doing, and based on your services and the keywords, and the products that you guys basically sell, what are the number of, for example, searches in your local market. And then we will also come up with the growth strategy. It's a $1,500 cost. It's normally $3,000. If you do decide to take advantage of this, I'm going to drop the link on the chat here so everybody can see it. But you can sign up for it. The 100% of that will go towards any sort of marketing packages that you sign up with us. And if you don't, if you decide not to work with us, obviously you'll be able to take this and then share that with your marketing company, or if you have somebody in-house that works on your marketing, they can basically use that as a business plan, really, for growth for this year, for 2021. So I just shared that with you on the chat. Again, it's a one-time fee, and I think it's going to be very comprehensive, and it's going to be helpful to really kind of see where you are currently and the potential in your market really to take your company to the next level. We do that for a lot of our clients. Any other questions?
Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A if it's easy for you. There's a chat option as well. If you have any questions there, feel free to ask them.
Or you can raise your hand and we can allow you to talk. Christian, let's see.
Oh, hi. Thanks for actually, that was before the, raised my hands right before the meeting started and everything. I'm with Podium actually. With that, I just wanted to kind of compliment, say congratulations on all the great things you guys are doing out there. Like, this is the type of things that people need, and you guys are doing awesome. But we'll talk later after this.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes,
you,
we do use Podium, and we also can recommend Podium for a lot of our clients to capture reviews, as well as the chat. Like Anthony explained, definitely the chat feature on the website is really important, and also the reviews online, offline, on your website, as well as on Google. So when customers come into your website, they want to see those reviews, and obviously with Podium, they're kind of making it easier to capture those reviews.
Definitely, and the great thing is that that's the one of the the beauty of all the things that he talks about, like those SEOs and all of that stuff. And I'm very grateful to kind of see how you guys go to business and understand and helping your clients every day and day in, day out. It looks like you guys really, really do care about your clients, because it's not a lot of marketing companies out there that does it so good like you guys do. So definitely looking forward to learn more from you guys too as well. So yeah, I know that Anthony and I will have a meeting either this week or next week. So I'm definitely looking forward to learn more.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
All right. If nobody has any more questions, or if you do, you can type them in Q&A. If nobody has any more questions, you can always reach us directly at 800-373-4373 or info@gemfind.com. If you'd like to have a copy of these slides, you can email me, Anthony@gemfind.com. We will also have this recording on our website, like Alex mentioned, on Monday.
Good luck, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. We will end this session. If you have any questions, the email address is here on the page, as well as our 800 number. Love to talk to you, love to chat, love to consult, share the knowledge, and we want all of you guys to grow this year and kill it, really. Thank you so much again, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. Bye-bye, everyone.